Greetings exiles and exiled champions. I am Raziel, and from today I will be trying out a little challenge that TOMisAfish set himself on Monster Train, and that is pretty much to sort of win streak through every possible clan combination one after the other. So I'm going to try that. I'm going to see how far I get. I'm going to see how far Tom gets, and we'll go from there. Some of this will be YouTube exclusive because I'll be recording it off stream, and some of it will be on stream and hopefully also uploaded to YouTube at some point. So with that said, let's get cracking. Starting off, we have Hornbreaker Prince. Now with Hornbreaker Prince, I think root seeds is the way to go. I'm not going to go as far as TOMisAfish in doing it with the inverse afterwards. So I'm going to pick a clan, a allied clan, and then pick one of these, and you know, that gives, I think it's 60 different combinations. Yeah, so let's get cracking. Other than that, there are no real rules. If the streak breaks, I don't know. So we start with event, razor sharp edge, and important word. So we definitely have some options here. Sting gives us extra draw. Vine Grasp allows us to move our units around and also kill imps. These are two fairly solid Awoken artifact options. Kind of like this because we can also hit ourselves with it. So, yeah, so we have Wrathful and Brawler. Now I feel like since we started with the razor sharps and stuff like that, either option is viable, but since we have all these fancy ways of scaling our Hornbreaker Prince, I'm going to take the Wrathful here. And then I do want an artifact. Just kidding, I didn't want an artifact. You can have it back now. I guess we will take improved firebox in case we get an expensive unit or something later on. Spikes. I think we can manage spikes. So if we look at this first floor here, it's going to take some doing. So we'll set up here so we can get nice and beefy by the time this thing comes up. Also bring that to the front was a good idea, but it's what we've done now. But we will have enough to kill this one. This one goes up and deals 8 damage. This one goes up and deals slightly more damage, I think. Well, oops then, I guess. We are just getting thick here. Switch off my sound loopy thingy. If we get offered multi-strike again later on, we probably end up taking it. But I think this gives us a much smoother start. There is a fledgling imp. That makes me wish we'd gone with the other route. We also get offered an ascent. So we have two options here. We can either overstack a floor or we can play imps. We do have the ability to move units around on the floor, so I'm going to take this hidden passage and assume that it works out for us a bit later on. We also have a steel enhancer, a wildwood sap, or a sting. I think this is almost certainly units. We get offered endless, obviously, because we decided to go with the other path. We get offered a rail beater and a demon fiend. Now, demon fiend is interesting since we can actually play it on our first turn, but I think a rail beater here is just going to be a more solid choice because it can function both as a tank and as a backline damage dealer. I'm going to re-roll here and hope for something better. Quick is nice. What this allows us to do is play the rail beater behind our prince, but then still have the prince get that nice heavy rage hit in after the melee weakness is applied. Over here we have intrinsic. And 30 magic power. I don't hate putting this onto a vent, but I think we're going to play it smooth and safe for the meantime. Intrinsic was actually a pretty good choice onto that ascend. Hopefully we get it again, because the idea then would be intrinsic holdover. Then when we draw our banner units, we can put them onto the floor. We get an extra unit draft from this challenge, so I'm going to take it. Welcome to the Codraziel drinking thing stream. You can die. Okay, so yeah, the Vine Grasp ends up being a decent option because we can whammy the haste units as they show up. Okay, so we didn't get one of those weird armory ones. I'll whammy the backliner there just to get us a more stable situation. Okay, so now I'm going to whammy this because it's dealing all the damages to us. I'm then going to leave these because it gives us slightly more armor than if we kill one of them. Now I do want to get rid of this front unit here just to make it so that our melee weakness is applied to the boss. And yeah, this looks good. We're not going to mess around here because things could go sideways. But that pairing works quite nicely. I'm going to take Fortify here just for emergency situations. We already have 2 razor sharp edges. Glimmer is okay. But I think I'm going to skip here. Okay, we get offered another rail beater as well as a branded warrior. Now if I take the branded warrior and put it onto the rail beater, then if there's like a weaker unit in the front line, that gets whacked first. But before we do that, let's have a look at what else we could do here. Yeah, so then we would put the branded warrior onto the rail beater, and I think it might be too early to dupe the rail beater. Let's see what this Hellworn banner will. I don't think this is how we're going to scale. Hopefully we find something better to put on our rail beater. Let's check here. There's the holdover that we could have. Twin stone. If we put the plus 30 onto the vent, then twin stone is really nice because then you get a double vent. Let's see what we're offered from this banner. So steel worker. So we put steel worker onto rail beater, and then we dupe it a bunch of times. 2 times, and we overstack. We make a tanky prince in front, followed by all these rail beaters in the back. I don't know if this is going to work nicely. If it doesn't, you'll never know. We have 4 to hold over Razor Sharp. Now we can. Okay, so I think here we put the prince out. Put him behind. Steel worker down here. Torch our prince. Fine grasp our prince. Root seed the backliner. Hopefully we get our ascend sooner rather than later. We do not, so we need to clear some trouble here. This was actually a bit of a mistake because now our Hornbreaker prince is not scaling. Still no. Well, so they'll kill the front unit, so we can't kill the backliners here fairly confidently. Wow. It's really taking its time. So now we'll have a nice heavy whack there. There's our ascend. So I think since it's behind the prince, we'll do like this. Just buff him up nicely. So we have melee weakness, whack, whack. It's kind of cool. Hopefully we get a torch now so we can take out this naughty one in front here. Cool. I mean, the scaling is looking relatively decent here, at least. I would not hate finding Gerg's gold right about now. Cycle helps us in 2 ways. First of all, it gives our Hornbreaker prince spikes, and if we can get him an adequate supply of spikes, then he'll kill things before he has to hit. Then we can sort of go all in on this rage path and get stacks of armor from the spikes, which I really like. Healing isn't gonna do much. We could also put the shard challenger onto either the steel worker or the rail beater, and that gives us 2 spikes per turn, which I think is what I'm going to do. Sounds like fun. Here's another steel worker. So steel worker onto steel worker, shard channeler onto rail beater. Now we can either continue with our overstacking plan, or yeah, I think we continue with our overstacking plan. Try and get freeze and intrinsic or something onto the guy there. So I feel like the short channel onto rail beater is going to be the first step we take here. And there's intrinsic, so we can intrinsic the hidden passage. That of course screws us over until the point where we find the permafrost or something else for it, unless we draw all our units in the first turn. There's a steel singer. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to pass on that steel singer. Twin stone doesn't really suit anything, so we will just do that. Once again, this intrinsic only helps us. So I'm going to go all in on the Hornbreaker Prince, I think. Let's see what we're offered. Multi-strike. I almost don't hate putting the multi-strike onto the steel worker, since that'll be a secondary damage unit. So yeah, things are looking to be a little bit different from an ordinary build here. Let's see if it works. Spikes 4. Does that? Well, yeah, it should be fine. I think that's kind of more important that we get the other guy up there. And this is what I was talking about. So we might as well separate these two. We need permafrost on it for when we draw the wrong units first. So we'll put our shard channeler behind like that. I mean, that guy. And we'll start stacking up this one, because this will be our main guy. We do need to find our ascend again. In the meantime, we'll just continue to stack up our guy up top there. I don't mind the front one dying so much. But might as well take this guy with him. Come on. Eh. This is a shame. I think this ends up doing more damage to us than the other one. Too little too late, I'm afraid. Yes, you can go up there. This has sort of been an unfortunate arrangement for us. And I realize now that our melee weakness is being stolen by the guy at the back, so maybe that wasn't the best choice. And we can vine grasp him to the front. And one more razor sharp. Oh my goodness. We're winning with just our guy there. Okay, so that was not a good round because I couldn't hold my ascent. Sure, we'll take a rage 3 at the start. Tiresome climb helps us with the divinity fight. I don't think this is a transcendent run. Fire shards can give us some early starting spikes to get us going. And we can only merge the steel dudes here. Okay, so I think we end up with only one dupe here, because I feel like we need the Holdover works. That solves that problem. We get a Gurg's Goad from here. I guess. I'll take that because I don't feel like messing around with Ember and gold and stuff. At the start of the battle, enemy units appear on each floor. Hopefully we start with our Pyre Shards and we can get some serious value out of them. We don't. Okay, so now we can sort of do this. Okay. You need to use this hidden passage so that we get it back next turn. Vine Grasp for damage and get them. So now we get our Spikes guy. We send it. We don't have enough Ember for the other Steel Worker. Why do we have two multi-striking Steel? That's the wrong Steel. Now we start to get spikes onto our champ. And so we need two, well, I guess it doesn't matter now, we might as well make you stronger. We don't want to do that. We'll fatten you up. Fine grass beauty at the front. Unfortunately, we don't have enough thorns to kill that yet. Not sure how this next floor goes. That badly, huh? So we vine grasp him to the front. This guy's not doing anything to us. So, and then you are almost killing this front liner. So, oh wait, you are because. Oh, wait, what? Oh yeah, no, quick. So you stronger, beefy armor. Now we should get a bunch of armor from this next floor. Because we're taking a bunch of damage, but that's the breaks. I guess my spikes plan kind of slightly impaired by my quick rail beater. But it's okay. I still don't hate that choice for, well, this boss specifically will benefit greatly from the fact that we have spikes here. Killing these guys does absolutely nothing for us. It'll make this guy at the back here stronger. Make a Hornbreaker Prince stronger as well. And we are killing. Ends up with 16 spikes. And if we dupe the rail beater, that'll be even more. But if we dupe the rail beater, it'll also mean less. So maybe duping the steel worker is the better option. I'm just gonna end it. Rage Serum, March of Shields. March of Shields allows us to March of Shields and then Vine Grasp, which allows us to rejigger our ordering slightly. Fire Shards. That's a consume card. They are nice for us early on, so I will take another one. We have a look at our upgrades here. We've got plenty of space for unit upgrades. So now I'm going to head over here, grab a Unbroken Horn. This helps us quite a lot because we do start with all that extra Ember we're not using. This multi-strike, okay, so we are going to dupe the Steel Worker for sure now because it's got double multi-strike. Plus the Gurg's Goad. As for our other guy, I don't hate putting extra life on him, but there's another quick. We can't put 2 quicks onto him, so onwards and upwards, I guess. Okay, so we should be okay for shards. Okay, so put our rail beater short channel there, and we pop this guy up like that. Oops. Okay. So it was a mistake, but we'll live. Here's our other steel worker. Our ordering is just fine here now, so we can march of shields the front guy. Another pyre shards. And we should actually get some value out of that pyre shards now, which is cool. We don't want to have a whole bunch of these in our deck, so we will use it to power up our Hornbreaker Prince. How are we looking on top? Great. We don't need to hold over this hidden passage anymore since we have all of our units out. What I don't hate doing is should be okay. Torch. And yeah, with multiple backliners and a strong frontliner, we're going to get a lot of power. There's a tiresome climb. How much spikes do you have? 22. Oh wait, but it'll stun him. So we can't do that. So I guess there is something to be said for keeping the ascend cycling through. So we just keep razor sharpening our big multi-striker, torching our frontliner, and root seedsing the same multi-strike. I feel like I get the most value out of Unbroken Horn in situations like this. Okay, so we have an incant thing up here now. Being an ass. So I'll put this guy down here. Razor sharp. March of Shields. Steel Enhancer. Vine Grasp. Ascent. I think we're fine now. Root. Torch. Razor sharp. It's crazy how much spikes ends up being on this floor. I probably should have taken that bramble lash. We don't live in Shoodland. And I think we're just annihilating this boss now. Quick. Reinforce. I don't think it's necessary. More draw, since we have all that juicy starting ember that follows through with us. We still have space on the rail beater for something. We do need to merge these steel workers now. We don't have enough money to really go there, and we do need to eat some train stewards. So, a yeeting we will go. Okay, so there is a multi-strike I just don't know what else we'd put on it. So, multi-strike it is. Value stone and intrinsic. We can put our steelworker onto our steelworker. Let's see, value stone, intrinsic, tiresome climb. That buys us some time at the start of the divinity. Or value stone, holdover, tiresome climb, maybe. Let's have a look what this has to offer us. Okay. I mean, if you say so. Oh my goodness. What an interesting start. Now we definitely dupe the steelworker here. Which means we will not be visiting another merchant of magic. Which means we can safely do this. And that'll buy us 2 turns to stack up armor against the last divinity. I think I'm going to continue down the Wrathful path. That's a lot of rage and armor. Especially against those things we're going to take out with spikes. I don't mind doing that because we're only dealing damage on the top floor. Okay, so we have our Steelworker, Hornbreaker Prince. We need to ascend, Vine Grasp, Root, Fire Shards, March of Shields. We'll bring that guy up preemptively since if we drew... Oh wait, we can't draw 2 units anymore. But we still do it that way. Now this is one of those circumstances where we do want to use our Vine Grasp and March of Shields when they appear on the same turn to reshuffle our units a bit. We won't use it on the turns that yeah, we won't use it on other turns. Primarily because we don't want our Hornbreaker Prince to not be in front. We don't need our hidden passage anymore. Although you have 10 spikes, that's not enough spikes. You just die in 1 hit from spikes. So let's bring you up. This floor looks exceptionally... Wow. Never mind. Zero enhanced armor, torch, Vine Grasp. Oh, I gotta say, I'm impressed. I'll bring another one of these up. Okay, we still don't have our March of Shields and Vine Grasp in the same turn, so we just keep doing what we're doing. You can come up. We'll Vine Grasp the Rail Beater to the front, and then March of Shields, the Hornbreaker Prince. Look at all that armor he's getting. It's crazy what you can do with Wrathful, really. Here's a tiresome climb. But I feel like we are safer if those things join him. Because we do get 25 armor and these things deal 15 damage. There's an extra 20 armor. We do need to make sure we keep playing at our Vine Grasps. There's no reason to tiresome climb anything, so we won't. Shield, torch, vine grass, torch, steel enhance, you, razor sharp, you. Like, I've seen crazier scaling than this, but if you look at our front unit, that you know, it's got 22 spikes and 410 attack, so that's clearing floors on its own for the most part. None of that makes a whole lot of sense for us. I think we have enough fire shards now. Okay, so I think we are going to dupe the steel worker here. Don't think we gain much from this merchant of steel. Intrinsic and plus 30. Split anvil, petrified crucible. I'm going to attack this. Jack strips to remove the. Let's see, what can we yeet? This. And vent. We can also yeet another vent. Anything else we want to get rid of? Maybe this other razor sharp. Nah, we do need to scale 2 now. We're scaling for 2. Okay. Off we go. You go down. You go down. You go down. You go up. Knife goes in. I got to come out. You can come up, I think. You go there. You go up. You get all the things. Okay, we do need to balance the scaling of these backliners here because we are losing some damage every time Seraph comes up here and badgers us. You we don't need mortar shields. Put it over there. Torch, root. Do need to put some slivers of damage onto the rail beater. Yeah, so we are reaching the another thorns threshold here. Yeah. Okay, we do need to make damage on this, so I guess our rail beater isn't doing anything this turn except for giving thorns to our Hornbreaker prince. Which I think still constitutes performing his duties. See in the recording if those dogs barking came through. Wow, that's a flaw. Torch, root, razor sharp, torch. I really don't feel like we lose against anything here. But that could also just be my hubris talking. I don't know what the point of making Mr. 5 damage here deal 5 damage was, but we should probably just don't you write in the comments what you think just happened there. It'll be fun. Yeah, off we go. And we have so much armor, so much damage, and so much everything that I think we just win. There is a flying kill potential here from the fact that he deals so much actual damage. But I don't know if we get there. We'll see. Either way, this has been a wacky start to this challenge. Hopefully Tom doesn't mind that I've sort of taken his idea a little bit and ran with it, yeah. But he's a reasonable guy. He shouldn't have a problem with it. Man, this improved Firebox Unbroken Horn combo really does the trick, doesn't it? Suppose you can be in front for one turn, because there's nothing else up there anyway. Shoot to the front. Anything spikesy? Nothing spikesy. So you can come up. How much spikes you have? 10. Okay, so you'll die. And then we can just start root seeding our guys. Crazy. Shoot to the front. Raise sharp. Root. Torch. Fine. And I mean, Divinity can feel free to attack us now. We are getting back 20 armor a turn. So, ooh, something's not dying. Something is now dying. Maybe I'll use the root seeds on the middle one and the razor sharp on the back one. That sounds fun. And as our spikes grow, there's an opportunity to... Oh yeah, of course, he gets rage from the damage that he takes. So that makes sense. So we'll root the back one and razor sharp the front one. I mean, razor sharp the back one and root the front one. Black one sort of just wants to deal his damage to the divinity. I don't think we get the flying kill here, unfortunately. But I think we win nonetheless. Thanks. That was relating to the situation from earlier. And now we just win. Hornbreaker dealing 1092 for the final hit. And that is chapter 1 of a hopefully 60 chapter adventure into doing all of the combinations. I think I'll just keep doing Hornbreaker prints along the line and do it that way, because then the videos can be like sort of together. Yeah, I mean, Wrathful Hornbreaker Prince is just a solid choice whenever you can deal damage to yourself, and there's a lot of ways to make it work, even if you don't find really good scaling. And with all that said, I'd like to thank you for watching. I have been CodRaziel, and hopefully this is the first of many on the win streak. So with all that said, good luck and stay juicy.